right now. So everyone, as you're watching this right now, Cory and I, we've been doing this for a long time, a very long time.
Yeah, look at
and
this.
things you learn over time is the things that you thought would make you or the account or the business successful are not. And you start to recognize there are a few consistent principles and things that you notice over time. One thing I've been noticing more consistently now than ever is ads is the easy part when you're good at ads, which Cory and I are. If you're not good at ads, you can't bypass this. But I'm spending probably 99% of my time with clients over emails talking about their business and their business data and things in their business further down the line or before advertising as well. And these are businesses who are going really well. They may have not been going well before they started working with us, but when they started working with us, they had a significant shift. Two reasons why. Number one is if you don't understand the holistic impact of the business, the ads are not going to work. Like, even if the ads are going well, you won't get the results and the client won't be happy. And you're like, well, but I'm getting amazing results. That's not enough. And then number two, if you don't actually understand the context of the business, the ads are not going to align with what their goals are. So we have recently had a client, a business, come to us last November, 11 months ago. And it took us about 10 months to kind of get them over the line. Now, this business was just doing Google ads, and their cost per lead was around $400, and the conversion rate was about 0.1%. And they're selling a very high ticket products, around $60,000 to $85,000. Now, if I was just going, let's just do Google ads, and I was just the ads person, I would be getting similar results. What I recognized was with their business and their products, they needed a different service. So we offered Google ads, meta ads, and a landing page. From day one, we've been live, I think, like 15 days. Our cost per lead across the whole account is $30 at a 20% conversion rate. Lead quality is even better because we're getting name, email, phone number, location, what business they're from, and what their actual interest is and what industry they're in. So like qualified leads. Now, if I just came from the perspective of like, I just do Google ads, I'll be the Google ads expert, I would not be getting them the results. Because I took time to actually recognize what their business was and what they need is a different strategy and solution came. That's before I worked with the client. There are so many clients now. The other day I was on a client call for an hour and a half, and the ads are going well, but their whole sales process is cooked. And they're getting about a 20x return on our advertising. So from like lead generation, 20x return in revenue, and about 200x return in quotes. But I'm like to the guys, look, 1 in 10 of your quotes is turning into a sales. This isn't an ads issue. This is a sales issue. So we're going through the sales process and how like marketing, what we can do around that. Because if I'm just going, I'm the ads, we can change the ads, we'll change the messaging, and hopefully that fixes the sales. That's never going to fix the sales. So you've got to take so many steps back to recognize that ads is not the panacea. It is just like one pill out of many magical pills. So Cory, that's me just starting off. What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, and it's your rant, right? So I'll let
Yes.
you just flow through it. But one thing I had mentioned pre getting the recording started was, for a lot of advertisers, particularly in the lead generation space, we're talking to a client that hires you or whatever. If you're the advertiser doing it yourself, for a lot of lead gen, especially, you absolutely need someone that doesn't just look at the PPC, the paid search or Facebook, whatever they're doing for you. You can't just look at that in a vacuum and assess how the business is doing. You need to know your business metrics. You need to know your business objectives, and you need to be able to clearly communicate that to whoever is running these campaigns for you. Because otherwise, if you just take it at their word to say, okay, I'm an advertising specialist and I'll be able to make it work for you, but they're not asking these types of questions that make them sound like more of a business analyst than an advertiser. And if you're not being surprised every once in a while by a question that they're asking, go, yeah, you know what, we haven't looked at that before about our business or our numbers or whatever, that's probably a bad sign. You want someone that's doing those things. You want someone that's asking those questions and is willing to challenge you to some degree to say, you know what, I'm not saying you're wrong, but have we looked at it from this angle? You want to be hearing those things because that's a business partner.
Yeah.
That's someone you can scale with, that you can, I know the word scale is thrown around a lot, but really that's someone you can grow with. That's a
Yeah.
business strategic partner that you're going to want to keep for a long time. You're not going to want to just throw them away like that random agency that has a template for everything and they're spending more time in their sales processes than actually working on accounts. Those are going to be short-lived partnerships. That's why I always brag about my retention rate is like 3+ years, because usually when clients find me, they're like, man, I've never ever had this level of quality and I've never seen so much value being added, and we're growing like crazy, and they just don't want to
Yeah.
go anywhere because they just can't possibly find anything better. Sometimes they've looked and they admitted that, and they're like, yeah, you're the shit and we love you and we don't want to go anywhere. It's because I'm adding that level of value, because I'm asking questions that others are sometimes not willing or just able to ask. So yeah, I completely agree. I think advertising as a service becomes a vehicle for a lot of agencies for actually becoming a business analyst or
Yeah.
just a business specialist in general. So
Yeah.
very good points that you've made. Yeah.
Mate, I couldn't even agree with you more like around the retention, because you get to the point where you look at the standard in the industry, and I look around, I'm like, there are so many people who are really good in this industry and I can't compete against that. As in, I'm just saying I'm better. They're saying they're better. Like, I could say that I'm better than you, Cory. But there are things that you, Cory, do better than me that's not Google Ads. And there are things I do better than you that are not Google Ads. And that's the competitive edge. And that's what the clients actually need. Like, once they're like got the foundations of like the ad account is working, which is like you can't build a house on like sand. You need a good foundation. That's what ads is building the foundation. But that's it. Like the growth of it comes from like that foundation turning in from like the business analysis and strategy. And that's why like I've noticed that over the years, I've known a lot of good ads people, and I'm like, they were better than me, and now I'm better than them. But I'm like, they're spending every single day in Google Ads like 40 hours a week doing it. I'm not, but I'm getting better results. I'm like, so what is the difference? And the difference is the business intelligence. It is the data analysis. Like with clients that we work with, they're so happy with the results. But it's more the business analysis with the dashboards we build, and then the business insights and like that actual consultation. And consultation is kind of like such a used word, but it's like that expert, like expert just brainstorming and working together on such a high level that gets them. Because I'm like, no one's going to compete with me on that shit. Like no one. Like that is my hidden edge. Like I'm great at ads. Like I know strategy. I know the data so deeply, and I can present the data in a way that people need it. And I'm like, who am I going to compete against? The guy who just does ads? And then when the client's like, oh, yeah, but Michael did this like report. And he's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. It's like, cool. Well, the client doesn't have transparency. The specialist doesn't have transparency. So what are they going to be actually optimizing towards? And I could just say that to the client,
Right.
what are they actually working on? Where's the data? How do you know? How do you know they're not lying to you?
Right.
And it's like, and these things, by the way, even though I'm saying it, I'm not scared to give away these secrets because it's so hard to do. Like, Cory, you tell me about the hours and hours and hours of these deep data analysis, and you've been doing that for years, and it takes you hours. Things that take me 2 hours now used to take me 20 hours, and it's still 2 hours of my time. Like, this isn't something like you and I share right now. Like, damn, all these like other competitors are going to do it. Most people won't do it because it's actually quite hard. It's super important, but it's really hard. And you've got to treat it like I'm learning. If you wanted to learn Google skills and ads and master that, this is a completely different skill. And you've got to be like, I need to be spending as much time on that.
I was just going to add, I mean, let's be honest. Most agencies, we've met some of these people. You're just like clients are just another number. It's just adding to the bank account. They don't really care about the success of the business. They're not. They sometimes even know like, I know I should be asking these questions, but blah blah blah, and they fill in.
But I'm busy. I'll do it next week.
Yeah. So they're not really invested. They just want to make money. This is like a day job for them, or if they're running an agency, it's just a way to make a bunch of money. But do they actually care about the people on the other side of the phone call? They actually care about that business? I don't tend to see it. It just tends to be sort of a fly-by-night business approach, or they just they're in this industry for a couple of years. They want to be a guru, and then they move on to something else.
Yeah.
Michael and I have been doing this a long time. You could call us gurus because we do podcasts and we do features and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, we're both really nerdy at this. We're not just guru based. Like, we really enjoy doing it. We like what we get to offer businesses, and so I think that is something else to look out for when you're looking at agencies. Is you're not, and this isn't just one big sales position. We're just being honest with you guys. You need to be looking out for those signs that. Does it feel like you're just another number? Are they just giving you a template for everything? Are they just saying, oh, yeah, we have this system down. We have it. We do it this way for everybody. That's probably not a good thing. There should be some customization that's involved in strategies and tactics. So anyway, that's my little tangent on it.
No, I agree, mate. It's and that's the reality. Most people working in agencies, it's just a job to them, and they've jumped from one industry to the next. They're not, and they'll go to another industry. Like 95% of people I've met in agencies have come from another industry, not agency, like advertising, and then they leave to go another place. Like it's a very, for people, it's a very transitional industry, but but for clients, it's an unforgiving industry. Like the money, you're not going to get that mismanaged ad spend back from a specialist. You're not going to get that time back from like the wrong account manager, like someone giving you strategy. And I even just like the other day, I had someone book in a call with me, and I just knew she wasn't going to be the right fit. She was an interior designer, and I still got on the call. I was like, I have this thing where I'm like, I just want to help everyone because I just trust, like, life's been amazing to me. If I'm just more giving to people, good things come back. And she was an interior designer in Sydney, and she was telling me like, oh, I've spoken to so many agencies and this. And I literally said at the start of the call to her, I'm like, I'm not going to try and sell you today, and I don't think you're the right fit for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you so much value that you're not going to pay those other agencies thousands of dollars and wasting your money. This is how you do it. And in 15 minutes, I gave her the whole strategy. She sent me an email afterwards being like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, wow. And then even after that, I sent her a quick Loom video walking through an ad account being like, make sure it's this, 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 and this, and this. So in less than 20 minutes, I've just given more value of someone who's spent like $100 million in ads, who's actually doing the results, than these other agencies. Because I know at the end of the day, she's just going to be taken for a ride. She's going to be given to a junior because her budget wouldn't be high. She wouldn't be able to pay high management fees. Yeah, a junior who like hasn't had experience in that industry. Number two, her budget wouldn't be high. I knew her budget would be high. Number three is then her management fees wouldn't be high. So why would they prioritize her? And then number four, like she's probably in a contract for like, I don't know, amount of time. And I know the path ahead. I'm just like, here's free value, do it yourself. And I said to her, you will waste the money, but that money that you wasted is your learning, not someone else's learning. And it's actually quite simple. And then she did what I said. And I was like, the account looked really amazing. I'm like, you're going to kill it. But I know that because I know those, like, there's thousands of things you can do in Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever. I told her, do these three things that I know work every single time for lead generation, every single time. And I'm not going to reveal them on these calls because, like, that is my secret sauce. But I know she's going to kill it and get heaps of
for fun, but you're good.
And
awesome.
No conversion targeting, unlimited budgets, dynamic ads in whatever format that Facebook or Google say.
Optimize based on optimization score.
Oh, yes, yes. Broad match everything.
To make yourself feel good. Yeah.
Broad match interior and just broad match design and just see what comes in.
And remarketing is not necessary, so just skip that too. You don't need negatives.
And just target Australia wide because like people in like the other side of the country might be in like Sydney at some time in their life and might have like a $10 million property.
Guys, we are joking. Just a disclaimer, please don't think that was the real advice and you go mess up your accounts and blame us.
But that's the reality of like talking about this expertise stuff is like I spend so much time reflecting on how we communicate, communication styles, strategy styles. And I spend more time on that than actual advertising strategies because I know the strategies. I know they work. They're going to continue to work. But the things that people change and you got to realize more success comes from the relationship with the person and the data insights from the business than the ad account. But that's if you want to be working with businesses who actually want to grow and you want to make a lot of money from them. Because if you just want to be paid like a little bit of money, yes, just be the ads person. If you want to be paid a lot of money, be that expert that you can't replace and you're offering way more value than the ad account.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can't just be talking about and asking questions about your PPC stuff. You got to be asking the business about their business. That is what's going to inform your PPC strategies and tactics.
The most data I'll ever give clients on a high level is lead volume, cost per lead, and then maybe ad spend and return on ad spend. That's it. Like, because like those numbers are like the pinnacle of the mountain. And if they're good, everything good, we talk about something else. If they're off, we can go deeper. But they don't need to be knowing about what campaigns this, that. It's like, I don't need them knowing that. I don't need to be wasting their brain space with the technicals of the advertising. I just need to show them this is your data. It's going well against our benchmarks. What's happening in business? Or here's the data. There's been a significant change. What's happening in your industry or what's happening in your business? And how can we align with it? Because if we go too deep with a client, you just take them on these like little side quests that just lead to hell, and you're wasting time, money, and their business owners like this their mental RAM. Like, respect people's brain space.
Yeah. But Michael, I just watched this YouTube video from so and so agency, and they're saying that everybody should do this. Do you think we should do that?
Yeah, dude. I will never take on those. Other things. I will not take on clients who tell me about what other people are doing, because it's like, focus on your business.
Focus on the business.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
let me make you money. PPC tactics, strategies, the weird, specific, technical stuff. Let your advertiser handle that. That is no longer necessary for you to do it. Now, if you used to do it, I can understand wanting to kind of hold on to that. You enjoy it, whatever. But honestly, that shouldn't be part of those conversations unless you feel like you're just like, hey, have you thought about this? You probably have, but just want to throw it out there. Here's this thing, this idea. But really, you should be trusting and giving autonomy to the person you are paying to run these accounts for you. Yep.
But at the same time, Cory, I actually disagree with you. With us, they should. With most people, they should be holding their face to the fire.
That's true. Because that's a good point. Know your advertiser.
I'm actually going to say, we've got to stop projecting our reality view onto this, because the reality is, mate, you ask people, like, when people say this stuff to me, even clients or people in their team, I was like, they say stuff and I'm like, that sounds correct, but maybe it sounds a bit off. And I'm like, okay, if I just trust them, then I ask them one more degree of question or a different layer of question, and then they have nothing to back. I'm like, I'm glad I asked that, because I was going to make a lot of decisions based on that, what they just said to me. And now that I've asked a separate degree of question or a lower degree of like another layer of questions, and it's not backed by anything, I'm not going to follow that. Why would I start believing stuff based on that it's actually not based on anything?
Are you referring to like the guru content that's like the clients might look at, stuff like that?
No. So it's more like the clients, like if someone in the team's like, oh, we saw this, like our business is going like this. And I'm like, okay, but what about this? Or like, tell me more about it. And they're like, oh, we don't know. Or they're like, the leads are not good. I'm like, okay, what specifically about the leads? We don't know.
Yep.
Okay, so you're telling me to change the whole strategy based on that you say the leads are not good, but what specifically about them, you can't tell me. Have you documented it? No. So you're telling me the things that on my end, everything's really good, the ads are clear, the landing page is clear, all this stuff, and you're just saying the lead's not good. It might be your sales process. It might be you as a salesperson. Yeah. Like if you're telling me the lead's not good, and then like, oh, it's the price, it's a premium price. I'm like, I know. You can't, if people are coming expecting to pay this price and you're offering this, no wonder there's a gap. This is your job to keep bridging the gap of the value proposition. That's not ads.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't get from one Facebook, Google ad and a landing page, people going, yes, I'm going to like throw down all this money just because the ad and the landing page got me all hot and heavy. That doesn't work. That's the salesperson's job or the email marketing to nurture people and perceive the value. So these are those things. What I'm saying is keep questioning things, because people who seem qualified will say shit and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then you start to realize they don't know. It's the same if you work a job. If you ever worked a job and you look at your managers or CEOs or whatever, and you're like, oh, they're in a high position. They must be smarter than me. And as time goes on, you realize these people are idiots. They're just in a position of power. That they're not any smarter. They're just in a different role that maybe gets paid more, or they've got more authority downwards. But it doesn't mean they're actually more technically or like understand things more. Like the more I get through life, it's like the higher someone is, the lower their education skills on anything.
Yeah, you talk to any software engineers or any amount of software engineers long enough, they'll tell you the people that are running their scrums and their project managers, they don't know anything about code, but they're the ones telling them to stop putting so many comments in the code. So it's just like, it's across industries and definitely good advice. So anyway, Michael, we should wrap this up because we are running out of time. We got one last segment. Any other last minute thoughts?
Mate, that's it. That's definitely a rant. So awesome. I reckon that was a good little segment, because I think once again, people, don't gaslight yourself by other people's opinions, but also make sure that you realize like ads is not the final destination. It's not. It's like the first step of like a 5-step process. Like don't think by mastering ads, you're mastering the universe. You're not. There's so much more to it than that.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to move us on